Hello, welcome to Wise Guys. Naming compound. Polyatomic compound. So this session is show you how to naming polyatomic compound. A polyatomic compound contains more than two elements, metal ions and polyatomic ions. Metal ions like sodium with positive 1 charge, or zinc with 2 positive charge, aluminum with 3 positive charge. Polyatomic ions, for example, SO4 as sulfate with 2 negative charge, NO3 with 1 negative charge. This polyatomic ion called nitrate. So we have a lot of polyatomic ions. This session is mostly is naming polyatomic compound with fixed positive charge, because for metal, as we know, we have fixed charge and variable charge. Like transition metal, they have variable charge. So this one I will show you in next session, which is naming polyatomic compound 2. So in this session, we're focusing on how to name polyatomic compound with fixed positive charge, such as sodium, zinc, aluminum, and so on. So there are 2 steps. The first step, identify metal ions and polyatomic ions. The second step, name the metal ions and the polyatomic ions. No prefix is needed. So for example, name Na2SO4. First of all, identify Na is metal ions with positive 1 charge, because their charge are fixed. SO4 is sulfate with 2 negative charge. So the Na, the bond is subscript 2 when the metal with fixed charge. This 2 is related to writing formula. So when naming, we don't need to worry about this 2. So we just call the name. Na is sodium, SO4 is sulfate. That's it. And also, another example, I show you, for example, zinc, nitrate, NO3, because zinc is metal with fixed charge, 2 positive, and we call it zinc. NO3 is nitrate. So the name zinc NO3 bracket 2 is zinc nitrate. You may be confused with these 2. So the subscript, when the positive charge is fixed, the subscript just related the formula, the positive and the negative ions balancing. To name it, that's why we say no prefix needed. Whatever the bottom is 2 or 3, we don't need to worry. We just name metal, zinc, name NO3. This is a nitrate. Mostly, like a polyatomic ion, we can find the name from the periodic table of ions. So here I show you some of polyatomic ions. For example, this is selected polyatomic ions. The first block is ClO3, ClO2, ClO, ClO4. All is with chlorine and oxygen. So this one, I put the box is chlorate. So we focus on chlorate is ClO3. The ClO3 total is negative wind charge. So the ATE, this ATE with 3 oxygen ATE. So one more oxygen, 4 oxygen, then we have perchlorate, still ATE, but we put the perchlorate. And one less oxygen to chlorite, ITE. Another one less oxygen is hyperchlorite. And follow this pattern, all the table, the 4 blocks. This is a iodate, is IO3. So one more oxygen is per iodate. One less is iodide. Another one less is hyperiodide. So this is similar, right? Nitrate is NO3, -1. One more oxygen is per nitrate. One less oxygen is nitrite. Another one less is hypernitrite. This is in this 4 blocks always -1 charge. And the other one is have 2 negative and 3 negative, sometimes have 4 negative. There are lots of polyatomic ions. And here I just show you that pattern. For example, the sulfate is ATE with SO4. It's not SO3, it's SO4. But once you find SO4 is ATE, then one more is persulfate. That's why one more than sulfate is SO5. One less than SO4 is sulfite. Another one less is hypersulfite. And with PO4 is phosphate. Phosphate is PO4. And one more oxygen, PO5, is perphosphate. One less is phosphite. Another one less is hyperphosphite. So carbonate, CO3. One more percarbonate, CO4. One less, then ATE is carbonite, is CO2. Another one less, with 2 negative charge, is hypercarbonite. So now let's try some questions. Practice question, naming polyatomic compound. Practice question. First one, Ca3PO3, bracket 2. As we said, we don't need to worry about the outside the 2. This outside the 2 is related to balancing the formula. So the inside the PO3, we look at the PO3, then you go to the periodic table of ions to find the name. After several practice, then you memorize. So first of all, identify one is metal, the other is polyatomic ions. So Ca is calcium. PO3, because PO4 is phosphate, so that's why one less is phosphite. So name as calcium phosphite. Next, Ba is metal with fixed charge is barium. NO3 is nitrate. K is potassium. SO5 is SO4 is sulfate, so one more is per sulfate. Every time you naming polyatomic ion, you need to focusing on what is ATE, right? For SO4 is ATE sulfate. That's why SO5 is per sulfate. Next is Na is sodium. CO3 is carbonate. And next one is Al is aluminum, right? With fixed charge, 3 positive fixed charge. So this is aluminum. And the CaO is chlorate, related to chlorate, because as we know, chlorate is CaO3, right? We can look at again. Chlorate is CaO3 is chlorate. Chlorate is CaO3. One less is chlorite. Now is COL is 2 less than ATE, which is a hyperchlorite. So CaO is a hyperchlorite. So be careful of this 3. This 3 is outside the bracket. It's not the formula for ionic, for the polyatomic compound, polyatomic ions. The polyatomic ions is CaO. This is lithium, Li lithium. IO3 is iodate. So iodate. So total name it is lithium iodate. The next is Na is sodium, HCO3. You can say this is H is hydrogen, CO3 is carbonate. So name together. This is the sodium, hydrogen, carbonate. So if you need more practice, you can go to blogs. My blog is Minghouse at blogs.rrc.ca/me. Thank you very much. Have a nice day.